Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we are on episode 108.
108.
And we are talking about artificial intelligence.
Are we really?
So stick around if you want to hear more. Hello there, Dad.
Hello there, son. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. My name's Connor.
Hello, Connor.
And your name's David.
Yes, my name's David.
And welcome to the Father and Sundays podcast.
Yes, welcome everybody. If you've a first-time listener, you're very welcome.
I've got warm welcome and introduction written on my notes, so making sure I'm making it warm.
Ah, right.
I hope you are sitting cosy.
Sitting cosy.
It's near something warm,
Yes.
but not too warm that you're
No.
uncomfortable.
Okay, that's good. You're just making sure everybody's at their optimum comfort, in their optimum comfort zone.
Yeah.
Or are you? Is it you that's making this happen?
Making what happen? The
Trying
podcast.
to
press
get
record.
Oh, did you? No, I meant trying to create this. Is it you who's actually behind all this?
Behind what?
Behind this podcast?
Yeah, I press record.
All right, okay then, all right. So I ain't seen you for a week.
Less than a week.
Yeah, but...
I last saw you last Sunday,
Yeah,
and it's now Saturday.
it is Saturday, so just under a week I haven't seen you for.
Yeah.
So what amazing things have you not done since I last saw you?
Well, I was just do a brief rundown then of stuff happening. It was David's first birthday.
It was
We
on
went
the
to
Sunday,
Nottingham.
that's why we were up in Nottingham, wasn't it?
We celebrated David's first birthday. He's a whole one now.
He's a whole one. He
He's a whole
walks
one.
now.
He did walk some, didn't he?
He's walking today when I saw
Walking
him.
today.
Yeah,
Wow, isn't he good?
he is.
And also, he got a swing.
He did get a swing.
That was from me, Becky, and Sam.
That was nice.
From his uncles and aunt.
And it actually really enjoyed that, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he
as
did.
well?
He kept falling asleep, or looking like he was about to fall asleep in it, which
That's what
I get.
I like
It's a
on a
repetitive
swing.
motion.
Yeah.
What did you get him?
We got him a few different bits and pieces. We got him a little garage to play with.
Did you get him a car to go in the garage?
There were cars in that garage. We got him a big thing to wear, big sort of snowsuit for later on in the year. We got him some clothes, and we got him something else as well.
Oh.
Yes, I can't remember what it was.
Okay. I wondered where that was going. I thought it was going to be something big
It's
and
ridiculous.
impressive.
I wrapped him up. Yeah, well, no, it was big and it was impressive.
No.
I just can't remember what it was. Yes, so yeah, he was a lucky boy. Got lots of nice stuff. There's lots of family around, so that was a good start to the week, wasn't it? And that's why I stayed up in that area with your mother to do a bit of exploring around that area.
Went to a zoo, didn't you?
I went to a zoo on the Monday on his actual birthday, which was great. I saw gorillas and orangutans and bonobos and chimpanzees and
Was that all there was there? Oh, you're just going to
all
keep
the
on going.
4 great apes. Which I didn't even know until I got up there, and then I was so excited. And there's a slideshow a bit later on, by the way. I'm going to show you all my pictures from the week.
In the podcast?
No, not in the podcast.
It's quite difficult to do a slideshow.
This is a
podcast,
personal
isn't
podcast. Sorry, a personal slideshow later on after we had something to eat.
Oh, okay.
I bet you're going to really look forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Busy then.
And I saw lots of lovely animals, and then
You went to a cave,
I went to a cave.
which you could shut your eyes in and also have your eyes open.
You could. It was so dark, it's like you're blind. Yes, it was amazing in it. No, actually, it was really good. It was a really rainy day, and we found this pool caverns,
And the
it
thing
was
with
really good, really
caves
interesting.
is normally they're inside.
They are inside, and this one was no exception to that rule.
Yeah.
And it was so, even though it wasn't massively cold outside, it was very, very damp. But inside, obviously, it was quite damp, but it was, I think, 7 degrees all the time in there. So that's what caves are like anyway. So the environment in there is exactly the same.
Are all caves 7 degrees?
All caves, yeah. All caves. Every cave.
It's the thermostat. There's the rules
It's
around it.
just because you're underground.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, and the fella was quite funny. And
Were you wearing shorts?
I wore shorts all the way through.
Were you chilly?
No, I wasn't, no. I
You're
got
a
used because
t-shirt.
I was wearing a t-shirt. I think I had a fleece on. I might even had a rain jacket on that
Wow.
particular day. But all the way up through the other days of the holiday, I just had shorts and a t-shirt on.
Wow.
But I went to see Beaver Castle. That was interesting. No beavers.
No.
Bit disappointing. It rained. Then I went to another place which is really, really pretty with stepping stones and a Dovedale, and it rained. And then I went to another place which has this castle and a lake, and it rained. So it's been a good week.
Been raining.
It's been raining quite a lot of the time, yeah. No, there was big thunderstorms, and I stayed in a rather interesting place as well, which was bizarre to say the least. But we may come on to that later on. So,
Okay.
Okay, what about you?
Fair enough. Well, I've had quite a busy week. Obviously, there's Nottingham stuff, and I drove there. But I drove back on the Sunday.
You did indeed.
As opposed to you guys stayed there. Monday, didn't really do much. Tuesday,
on Monday.
had a big delivery, and I've been
Had
working
a
on
big
that.
delivery on Tuesday.
Wednesday, I can't really remember what I did. Oh, I prepared for this podcast on Wednesday.
That's pretty amazing in itself.
Yeah.
If there was nothing else that had happened in that week, that would have blown me away.
Yeah.
So, well done.
And Thursday, did a long drive, jumped out of a plane. And then Friday, I went to see Bastille.
Right, so let's rewind that a little bit. So Thursday, you jumped out of a plane.
Yes, went skydiving on Thursday.
Oh, you didn't just... they knew you were going to do it.
Yeah, I had someone strapped to my back.
Did you?
Yeah, I was wearing him like a backpack.
Was you?
Yeah, and he was the one
who controlled the situation.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually just arrived home today, and you've shown me the videos. It looks incredible.
Yeah, I kept getting asked, because it was in Suffolk. I also went to Lowestoft and had a browse round their beach and their McDonald's. And I kept getting asked that day. I went there, and even when I was up in the plane, the person strapped to my back, I think his name is Callum.
Yeah.
Really good, by the way. I think they call it Parachuting UK, but it's Beccles in Suffolk. And if anyone wants to skydive,
it's a good place to go.
I think it's really, really good. The people there are fantastic. They're really, really nice. Because even when we were up in the plane, he went to me, "So you jumping with anyone else, like other people tandem diving?" And I was like, No. He went, "Oh, you got anyone on the ground? Who's on the ground?" I went, "No, there's no one on the ground. No." He went, "Did you just come on your own?" I went, Yeah. He went, "Right, okay, fair enough." He went, "If you don't mind me asking, why are you doing it?" I just wanted to challenge myself. I just wanted to do it. So I just went and travelled and did this on my own.
Well,
but I did have to get photos and videos just to prove that I've done it, because otherwise people just go, "I don't believe you."
No, well, originally...
By the way, the people did the tandem as well, the other group, because there was a group of 3 people as well that did it. Really lovely people.
Good. No, that's good. I think when you go to these things, you're all in it doing an extreme sort of thing together. It's like my running. When you do something and it's quite a big sort of race or whatever, you do tend to have a bond with those people because you went through that experience with them. But you were going to do this a little while back, weren't you?
Oh,
and
the photographer was really good as well, by the way.
And you weren't going to tell us.
No.
You just said you were going off doing something or other. But
I did end up telling you.
You did in the end, but you weren't going to tell us because you were just going to go and do it.
Yeah. I wasn't going to tell anyone, and then I ended up gradually telling more and more people.
Yeah.
Like, because I was asking people's opinions, should I do it, should I not? So there's a bunch of people that ended up knowing. But the awkward thing about telling loads of people about this is it got cancelled because of weather back in March, the 31st of March.
Excuse me, that's the problem, yeah.
Yeah, you're excused. It ended up getting cancelled, which meant that I then had to tell a bunch of people that I hadn't skydived. So I didn't really tell many people this time. I told you and Mum. I told Becky and Sam just because...
Yeah, and I know the other people didn't know because they asked us because a couple of them were away and were heading home that day from the family, and then another one who lives up there, your sister who lives up there, she wasn't aware that you were doing it. Yeah. And and someone asked me what you were doing over the week. Yeah, your nan, and I said, "Oh, I don't know. He's doing bits and pieces, but I'm because I knew you were just trying to keep it a bit."
Well, see, the thing is, if people were asking me what were my plans for the week, because I had annual leave this week. Yeah, people were asking me what my plans were. Then I was going, well, I'm doing this. It's Thursday. I'm travelling to Suffolk, or I'm just going out for that. It's the fact Becky and Sam specifically asked me, "Oh, where are you going on Thursday then?" I went, "Well, I'm going to Suffolk." He went, "Is that for your skydiving?" I went, "Yeah, I've got it booked again." So that's why they knew.
Yeah, I thought they probably would know.
Not that I'm having to go and no one asking, but this fact that because they asked, that's why they knew. A couple of people from work knew. Only 2 people. Well, actually, one person from work knew, and then the person who used to work.
You probably should
knew.
tell when you go and do these things.
I didn't tell anyone else.
No, you probably should tell people. God forbid, but
no, you should tell some people. But the thing is, that situation, the people who needed to know was kind of you and Mum, and that's really it. Maybe actually it's probably quite a good idea that Becky and Sam did know, because in reality you were in Nottingham, they were more local. Well, I guess actually it's a 2.5 hour drive, isn't it?
Yeah,
don't know how much more local they were.
No, they probably would have got there about the same time as us.
Yeah, but
we had to catch her.
Yeah, so by the way, because I drove there that morning and I drove back, there's traffic on the way back, so I drove for 5.5 hours on Thursday.
Yeah,
it's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, well done.
Thanks.
Congratulations on that as well. And then you went.
But I drove to Nottingham earlier on the week.
Oh,
so
no, you did. You don't usually drive that much, do you?
So,
yeah, it's an absolute what's name that driving anyway.
Yeah.
Does my head in.
I almost crashed into air. Anyway, and then on Friday, I went to go see Bastille. It was their 10th anniversary of their debut album, Bad Blood. So they had a special concert in Alexandra Palace, Ali Pali.
Which I thought was inside.
No, it was outside. It rained.
There is a place where
massively.
you can see. Yeah, I know. We didn't realise until we saw pictures of you, and it was an outdoor concert.
It was like a festival vibe thing. It was really, really good. It's Bastille Day as well. It was the 14th, so it was Bastille Day.
And they're called Bastille because
he was born on Bastille Day, so it's his birthday. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was really, really good. We met in the queue. We met a Dutch man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and made friends with him. Spoke to him briefly because he
came
on his own. He did not. No, I spoke to him about windmills.
You sure he was Dutch? Did you talk to him about windmills?
I did. Yeah,
excellent.
I brought windmills. I went. Oh yeah, because.
Do you live at a windmill? Did you say that?
My friend Jalia, because I went there with Jalia. She was talking about a wind turbine on top of a building that she's in London. And I went, oh yeah, windmills. I turned around to him and said, "You're Dutch. You love windmills, don't you?"
You love windmills.
He went. We do love windmills.
And clogs. You should have asked him about the clogs.
The thing is, he was an incredibly nice guy. He was there on his own. Like, he come from over from Holland on his own. And I just noticed he was on his own, so I turned around and spoke to him. I went, "Who are you here to see?" And he said, "Bastille, obviously. It's a Bastille concert." Yeah. But I was just trying to start a funny conversation.
Like I say, if it's like-minded people,
and he ended up spending the whole day with us, which was good. He was a really nice guy.
We did wonder when you sent a picture who the hell he was.
Yeah, no, and I said,
yeah, I know, and we knew you were going to come back with that anyway. So, but no, it was well, you packed a lot in.
Did pack a lot in, and now it's Saturday, and you're home,
and we're home,
and the reason, and we are doing a podcast,
which
now.
we didn't know whether we'd be able to do or not. So we're going to go for it.
Now, one of the big reasons, the topic we are doing today is artificial intelligence, aka AI.
Yeah.
Now, the big reason why we've done artificial intelligence, aka AI, is because we came up with the grand idea that because we were worried we weren't going to be able to do a podcast because we thought we might not have time to prep.
Yep.
Or you might not have time to prep.
I did a bit while I was away.
I said, well, if we do AI, we could get AI to write the podcast for us.
So we could get it to do it all the time if this is successful.
This is exactly what I've done. I've got the entire podcast today, on the most part. The majority of the podcast today is planned and written by AI.
So you asked...
So I used a AI called Chat GPT. It's a very popular one.
And you asked it to do this for us, yeah?
Most I gave it guidance. If you want, I can read you because I wrote down the questions I asked it. If you want,
okay.
So I asked it. I said, "Can you plan an episode for the podcast Father and Sundays on the topic of AI? We would like to talk for roughly 20 to 30 minutes about what AI is, where did it come from, what are its uses, what are the problems with using AI." Could there be a robot uprising due to AI?
Yeah.
I've also put, this is a comedy podcast and needs to be factual but also funny.
And then it came back and said, "I've listened to this podcast. Are you sure it's a comedy one?"
Yeah. No. Well, what it did, we'll come on to it. But basically, it's just told me, say this, but say it in a funny way.
Say it in a funny voice. All right. So, that's where we're going wrong.
But yeah. So this episode is planned out by AI. I want to make sure we are setting the tone for a light-hearted and comedic discussion, as outlined by AI.
Yeah, I can tell you're reading that off there. So what's the first step?
The first thing really is what is AI, and maybe I'd like to provide a basic definition and explain its significance in today's world. But first, I'd like to ask you, what do you think AI is?
What do I think it is? Well, it's artificial intelligence. It's basically a computer, as far as I know, it's a computer that is able to problem solve and think for itself. So it takes data or it takes an instruction, but then it takes it on several more steps. So it thinks rather than just does.
Right, okay. Well, I asked Chat GPT to give me a brief definition of AI because I didn't want to Google it myself.
Right, okay.
And what it said is AI, short for artificial intelligence, refers to the development and implementation of computer systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. It involves creating machines capable of learning, reasoning, and making decisions in a way that simulates human cognitive abilities.
Whoa.
AI systems are designed to analyze data, adapt to changing circumstances, and perform tasks with varying degrees of autonomy. They rely on algorithms, statistical models, and computational power to process information and achieve specific goals.
It's a pity you didn't ask it to say it in small words.
AI has a wide range of applications across industries, including automation, natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, and more. Now, you laugh, but I feel like I did a pretty good job at that. Now, the beauty of AI is if I did want that in more basic words, then I could have just said, "Can you make this simpler?"
Yeah.
And it would have done it. I could have said, "Can you do that in Cockney rhyming slang?" And it would have given a good go of giving it in Cockney rhyming slang. Probably would have given me the wrong information.
But that's see,
Have you used an AI?
There's no secret in the fact that probably because of our ages that I'm a little bit more suspicious of AI than you are. I think I'm right in saying, I don't want to say something and I'm speaking for you, but I feel like you embrace it and think it's a wonderful thing. I can see where it can fit in, but it does worry me somewhat.
No, I think
perhaps I've watched too many sci-fi films.
I would say I agree with you. It's one of these things that is both scary and amazing at the same time. That we're able to do these things. Yes, sci-fi has created this whole fear of AI to a certain degree, but in the grand scheme of things, I kind of live at a point now where I think there's one of two ways you can go with AI. You can either go, no, I'm going to do things myself, and I'm not going to utilize AI at all, which is great if it means you can still do things on your own. However, in reality, if AI continues to grow, then it's not going to stop. And you risk, because people say it's taking jobs. Well, if you don't utilize AI, there's a chance it could take your job. If you're utilizing AI, if you're using it to help improve yourself already, then why not? I mean, in certain job roles, you might go, right, I need to prepare, I don't know, a talk about this. You could get it bulked out by AI. Why not use it to speed up your day-to-day life? I spoke to someone very recently. I spoke to someone yesterday. I'm not going to go into too much, but they said about the people they work for have very much said we don't want using AI at all.
Right.
And there's multiple different ways of multiple different forms of AI which we can go into, but they don't want using AI at all because there's a fear of, well, I want my people to do it. I want them to be the creatives. I want them to actually physically do the job.
Well, funny enough, on the news at the moment in America, obviously there's a lot of script writers, movie stars and all that all come out on strike. And one of the reasons they're on strike is about the implementation of AI within their industry and how they see it as costing them jobs. So they're actually striking at the moment, and that's one of the reasons why they're striking. Yeah. So it's quite a current sort of thing anyway.
I mean, look, we'll come. I think we'll come back to this because AI has actually told me that should be something we're speaking about later on in the podcast. Anyway,
well, I wouldn't like to go against AI.
No, I wouldn't like to go against AI. But something to touch on. Actually, what where do you use AI at the moment?
Well, I don't know. See, I've got there's a chance that I'm going to make myself look a bit thick or a bit thicker than normal here. I would imagine because I've got a smartphone that I do use AI because I use things like Google, which means I say to Google, "Can you tell me this?" and it comes up with lots of other. So, is that a sort of simplified part of the AI? I mean, use is that it?
Absolutely. I think the thing is there's a lot of people going, "Oh, I don't want to deal with AI," but people used AI in their daily lives already. First one, virtual assistants. Now we've had this actually appear on a number of times on this podcast purely because we've got one in the room and sometimes it talks to us.
Oh, right, no, but
virtual assistants. So that's things like AI powers virtual assistant like Siri, Google Assistant, the Amazon, enabling natural understanding, voice recognition, and personalized assistance.
Yeah, but then see, this is where, and I don't want to go ahead of myself here, but we were talking about this while we were away. It's about walking like into a supermarket, and then straight away your phone gives you stuff that you might want within that supermarket, or like talking about something and then it comes up on your phone.
Well, this is the next one. Recommendation systems. So AI algorithms analyze user preferences and behavior to provide personalized recommendations in areas like e-commerce, streaming services, and content platforms. So when you get adverts pop up on Facebook stuff, that is an AI algorithm. It's written as an algorithm, but it's an artificial intelligence essentially going, right, this person is going to be more interested in this. What's the point of showing them? What's the point of showing a bald man a hairbrush as an advert?
Why did you pick that one?
No reason. What's the point of doing something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. How about, and this one isn't so common nowadays, but as of yet.
Yeah.
But there's a growth in. There's a particular car brand that almost sells their cars as this, even though they don't really do it, and it's not legal in this country.
Oh, so cars that drive themselves?
Autonomous vehicles, yeah.
Right. Now, this is something that would frighten me to death.
Yeah.
The reason being is, and I guess this is the crux of it. It's trusting something. Mm-hmm. It's your trusting something. Now, I am not a very good passenger in a car, like as in with another human. So, and it's not because I don't trust them, but I prefer to be in control of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I get behind the wheel. I have a gear shift. So, I'm controlling the gears. It's not even automatic like that. And I'm driving. Now, to a certain degree, my car, there's a lot of electronics. There's an onboard computer within it that does a lot of the things, but I'm driving it. The thought of sitting in a car where the artificial intelligence is driving it, I don't know. It's like, what if there was some glitch in it? What if there was something? I know there could be a glitch in us and we have a crash. It happens to people. But it's almost like I can only, and this sounds terrible, I can only trust me.
Yeah, no, you are right. You're the only one that knows what's going on inside your brain.
I don't really know it either, to be honest. No.
Well, the thing is, because autonomous vehicles at this point in time, they seem like a pipe dream still, in the fact that you don't still get cars just driving around by themselves, but it still exists because it's crucial development of self-driving cars.
They are there, but they're in places where it's controlled, where it's not illegal for them.
No, this is the thing. They're already around, like on the streets already, because you got enable them to perceive their environment, make decisions, and navigate safely. So, for example, there's quite common within things such as a lot of high-end vehicles. Tesla was the main one we were calling on to earlier, but I know it's in things like BMWs and Mercedes, normally your higher-end cars nowadays. But they integrate systems like such as the ones where you start to verge towards a line, they will steer you back into it.
Yeah.
The lane control. They will also do things if there's something hard brakes in front of you, they'll brake. Now, these systems are still faulted at this time because sometimes they do brake when they shouldn't do. And if you've driven in the back of a Tesla as well, haven't you? Where it pops up and shows you like bins. The person who put bins on Teslas, they love to bring them up.
Bins?
Yeah, but there's a screen in a Tesla, isn't there? And it shows you like all the hazards around you.
Oh,
It shows
right,
like people
no,
walking and it shows bins and stuff like
I'm
that.
with you. But
It's
also,
really good picking up
the one
bins.
thing that's popped into my head is the cars that park for you. So
and that's been around for years.
I know that's been around for years. I have never been in a car that's actually done that.
No.
And there's part of me that thinks, oh, that'll take the hassle out of that. But at the same time, I just don't know.
Well, no, this is the interesting thing, because up until recently, your previous cars never had... This isn't AI, but never had a reverse sensor.
No.
Yeah? Now it does. And now you go by it all the time, don't you?
I do rely on it, yeah. I don't think of that as something... Well, I guess, yeah, if it was faulty, I'd just drive into the back of something. Or, sorry, I'd back into something, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's fair enough.
Next one, healthcare.
Right.
So it's used for medical diagnosis, image analysis, drug discovery, and personalised medicine. It assists in detecting disease, interpreting medical images, and improving treatment outcomes. Now, with medical stuff, there's actually been something recently where AI... I remember hearing something about this. AI has discovered a new antibiotic. That's something that we'd not come across before, we'd not thought before, but it just run through some models and eventually came up with a new antibiotic. That's fantastic. That's going to save lives.
Yeah. It blows my mind a little bit, though, because this is going to make me sound really, really stupid, perhaps, but someone's obviously had to enter information. It's the getting my head around the fact that, say, for instance, in the medical side of things, that particular program is looking at something, and it's created... it started to think outside the box. So it's got the information that has been given.
Yeah.
So someone's actually typed that in somewhere to give it...
Not typed in, but yeah.
But,
for example, I get what you mean. It's been taught how to understand human language. So Chat GPT is a key example. It's been taught how to understand human language and the way we speak and the way we ask enough questions. Because traditionally, you'd say to AI, can you do this for me? And they wouldn't really understand what you mean, and if you ask them a follow-up question, they'll go by that one, rather than using it almost conversationally. Things like AIs they're trained, this is how you understand human language, then they'll feed them human language, like feed them a book, for example. I know, maybe digitally, but they'll give them a document to read. It takes in that information and then it can utilize it going forwards. It's going to read a book a lot faster than a human, though. Yeah,
but the whole point of reading a book is to read a book. But
it's a learning thing.
Yeah.
No, but my point being that I'm not talking about it reading the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I'm not talking about that. Or anything like that, and understanding how wizards work. I'm talking about it reading like a medical book.
Yeah.
And then going, oh right, so it's about learning. That's what AI does, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't learn about wizards.
No, it doesn't learn about wizards. It probably has read Harry Potter. Yes.
Somewhere.
One of them has.
Yeah.
Natural language processing. We kind of just spoke about this. But AI is applied in NLP tasks such as language translation, sentiment analysis, chatbots, and voice assistants. So we use that day to day.
Yeah.
When you ask for
things
from the person over
in the corner.
And
who will remain nameless.
And chatbots. A lot of businesses use chatbots.
Are you talking about the things where you phone up with an inquiry and it goes backwards and forwards?
Or a message.
Yeah.
Send a message and they go
so
backwards and forwards.
Say,
and they normally go to an actual person when needed.
When needed, but otherwise they'll try and answer your question.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a Q&A like you'd normally get frequently asked questions, but it would have that...
Or FAQs.
FAQs, yeah. FAQ.
Language translation, that's probably quite a big one, making it a bit easier in terms of that kind of stuff. Sentiment analysis, actually recognising what natural language people are using and what actually is meant by it. Financial services. So AI is used in fraud detection, has been for a while, algorithm trading, credit scoring, risk assessment, and customer service and financial industry. I'm just going to go through some other ones as well. Smart homes and IoT. AI enables automation and intelligence in smart home systems, controlling devices, optimizing energy consumption, improving security. We do that really often, our smart homes. You can feed it into it measuring certain things in your home.
You're talking about people turning up their heating from their phone and doing this, that, and the other?
automation more so, yeah. But yeah,
So door locks and...
sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm asking. I'm not telling. You know...
It's a discussion, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah.
The last
Is
one,
it?
the last
Right.
on my list. Sorry, gaming and entertainment. AI is using game development to create realistic characters and generate content. Oh, my screen's gone off. Hang on, hold there, caller. Generate content and provide intelligent opponents. It also powers recommendation systems and personalized content. So we're seeing it more and more often, where it's creating like an entire world on its own. Algorithms are designing entire worlds. Minecraft is one that always done that. Realistic characters, actually making these characters a bit more like they're actually got their own mind in a game. Like the NPCs actually do stuff. Non-playable characters in games.
It still blows my mind. It still blows my mind that yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing. These are just a few examples, as AI is rapidly expanding its reach to various fields, including cybersecurity, agriculture, manufacturing, and more. Its potential applications are vast and continue evolving as research progresses and new breakthroughs occur. That one was written by Chat GPT as well.
Right, so that's telling you what it is. Was
this
that
is making me sound
responsible
smart.
as we're
Do you reckon this is
talking?
making me sound smart?
And I can see you reading it off a screen. So
Yeah, true.
Was it anything to do with AI that all the screens went blank then for a
Yeah,
second?
it was weird, wasn't it? Everything
That's
just went
never
blank.
happened before.
It has happened to me before, but not when I'm recording a podcast.
Oh,
Interesting. I think the last little bit, just for a moment, before we just take a brief break. Actually, just have you had anything weird happen with AI?
have I had anything weird happen with AI?
Yeah. Have you had any funny things that have ever happened with AI?
I don't know. I mean, like I say, you get some weird and wonderful things pop up, and it mishears you and gives you an answer that's nothing like what you expected. I must admit, I guess apps are a form of AI. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell this story, but I recently got an app for that while we were on holiday, we were told about, which it recognises bird song from a big library of bird song, and so you switch this app on and it starts recording the bird song. It actually, out of all the noise that's going on, it picks out the bird song and it picks out the individual birds and it tells you what those birds are.
That's quite good.
Yes. And
Does it work?
It does work. It works spectacularly well, and like your mum is quite interesting. She was doing a lot of that, and then we came back to our hotel room, and we'd had the window open because it was quite warm, even though it was stormy, and she'd been with her phone just outside the window, just leaning out trying to record it. And then I had been in the bath and I'd just sort of got changed, so I was half dressed, I didn't have a top on, and I thought I'd give it a try as well. So I leant out the window with this app and to see what it gave me as far as birdsong, because I could hear it in the background, and the first thing that came up, bearing in mind I had my top off, was great tits.
Oh, nice.
And I was both complimented and disturbed at the same time. Your mum nearly broke. She laughed so much because it came up with thrush after that, straight after.
Oh, nice.
And yes, but so yes, that's a funny thing that happened to me as far as AI is concerned. But that, again, I didn't even think of that. That's something in a similar sort of vein, surely.
Yeah.
How animals work. Number 22, the spider monkey. When a red-kneed tarantula had a chance encounter with a gibbon in the fall of 1972, people thought it was a fling. However, these days, their hybrid offspring can regularly be seen swinging from branch to branch, firing sticky threads from their 8 eyes, singing a song that sounds similar to any one of Britney Spears' back catalogue.
Wow, that was a long bit there. You'll be pleased to know that I have got more to talk about.
Good. And can I just say, I very much doubt if AI could have come up with the information that we've come up with.
To be fair,
How animals work.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, in terms of what's been given to me, we've spoken a lot more about what it's actually told me, because it's telling me I should only spend a couple minutes on each bit, but I'm spending way longer.
That's probably why all the screens went off.
Yeah, probably why all the screens went off. So let's have a quick discussion as well. Discussion.
Yeah.
About just like where AI came from. Do you know where AI came from?
outer space.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Next question.
Yep. Well, I'm going to give you a brief history of it. So, first thing, Dartmouth Conference, 1956. The term
Sorry, who?
Dartmouth Conference.
Oh, right. Okay.
The term artificial intelligence was coined during this conference, where researchers gathered to explore the possibility of creating machines that could simulate human intelligence.
And when was
That
this?
was in 1956.
56.
1956 was the term when the artificial intelligence was first used in that sense.
Right. Okay.
It's not even that long ago, really.
Yeah, but it seems a long while ago. It doesn't seem like they were technically in a place, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Then early AI research, the 1950s to 60s, the research developed various approaches to AI, including symbolic reasoning, logical inference, and early machine learning techniques. So basically just teaching how to learn it on its own. Then it's AI winter, so 1970s to 1980s. Progress in AI research slowed down. This was the AI winter, leading to a period known as the AI winter due to limited funding and unfulfilled promises. So everyone was like, oh, it's going to be great. And then nothing happened for a bit. But then, expert systems. 1980s to 1990s, expert systems emerged, focusing on capturing human expertise in specific domains. These systems use rules and knowledge bases to intelligent decisions.
Right, so we knew in the 80s there was a lot of technological breakthrough. So is that what we're talking about? Like they were able to, suddenly the money was there and, they were investing in those sort of markets.
Yeah, and then the last bit here is rise of machine learning, which goes from the 1990s to the present day. So with the growth of computational power and the availability of large data sets, machine learning gained prominence. Techniques such as neural networks, support vector machines, and decision trees revolutionise AI research. So a lot of that goes into stuff that we probably won't understand too much, but like neural networks and stuff like that, we've heard before about the fact that they all play into one another and they all work together to get to the same outcome, get to a good outcome. Yes, excellent.
Right. Okay. So these are from the questions you've actually asked AI, yeah? So you actually asked AI for a brief history of AI.
I did.
Yeah?
I did. The question I asked was, can you tell me more about the history of AI and where it's currently used?
Right, okay.
So, this is something to think about, though. What if AI is that good and it's been around for such a long time? Maybe the likes of like Beethoven was actually a self-playing piano. Have you ever considered that? You ever considered that what we see now is actually, we class as like these greats are actually just AI in some form?
Well, that would say then that technology has been around for far longer than we thought it was.
Well, has it?
Well,
has the government been behind this for this long?
Well, the thing is, and that's one of my major worries, and I've got many, right? But one of my major worries is that human society has already been infiltrated by AI.
Yeah.
And, we're being sort of led down a path by them and made obsolete. And as far as I know, I might be the only human being on the planet. That is a scary thought for many reasons.
You could be the only person.
But
on the
planet. there is a point now, and I'm not one of these people that are sort of. Well, I love a conspiracy theory, but I'm not stupid in the fact that I think we're all controlled by one person, or we're all,
like
our
Sims.
governments, yeah, something like that. But there is an element of, if you don't understand it, that's why you're scared of it. And I guess to a certain degree, I don't really understand AI. I don't know how it does what it does. So I am a little bit apprehensive of it. And that's what it comes down to in the end.
Fair enough. No, I understand.
No, Beethoven was Beethoven. Don't talk nonsense.
But this is the thing. It's not just when we're talking about the AI in terms of like this chat function, the Chat GPT. There's also other things such as I've forgotten some of the names of them now, but you've got Midjourney and you've got
are these other companies that do?
These are like just other AIs, and the ones I'm specifically talking about here, like Midjourney, for example, it creates art.
Oh right, yeah, no, I've heard of that. That's been a real
you can create images and stuff like that. There was actually some guy who entered the competition with an art piece earlier on the year, and he caused such a big outroar because he submitted an art piece, And afterwards, it turned out it was AI created. And he go, well, I still put in the work to create this art piece. And this is the thing where the argument comes in: is did he create that art piece? In reality, physically, no. However, we've had these discussions for such a long time. Yes, he's had to use specific language to be able to get the right kind of outcome from AI. So in a way, he has done some work there. Should it be seen in the same category as the likes of traditional art, such as painting and drawing and stuff like that? No, probably not. But this the same thing goes for photography. Yeah, photography is an art form, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when that first came about, did people not go, well, isn't this just ruining traditional art?
I mean,
it's been around a long time, longer than both of us. But
yeah, but I guess any new technology comes with this element of, is it going to replace, or is it as good as what we've got already? And and I imagine there was a lot of portrait artists at the time who was thinking, oh, what, are you having a laugh?
I mean, granted, I've never had my portrait painted by a portrait artist, although I feel like I would have to have more money.
I've had a cameo done in Paris. I've had someone draw me in Paris, like one of the French girls.
Yeah. Do you mean a
Caricature.
caricature? Yeah. Yeah.
What did I say?
Cameo. Like you were in a film. Just appeared in the background.
Oh, no. What do I mean, though? I'd mean like a side profile, sort of.
Oh,
anyway.
Right. Anyway, so side profile.
So I have done that. But,
yeah.
I mean, that person may not have a job anymore.
But the point being is these kind of things go along the way. It's possible that art things or art forms in the future may be created by AI. Like there may be I think there was something like a musician they're not real. Like there's models that aren't real people.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess if you've got an infinite amount of, all right, so you've got a certain amount, think about music, you've got a certain amount of notes. And really, music is just creating, there's only a certain amount of combinations.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but there's only a certain amount of combinations of those. But if your musician has got a mind of a computer, like we're talking about, then I guess that's a lot easier for it to do that, and it's a lot easier for it to compose something.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to move us on to the next topic now. So, I did ask the AI some questions. Now, I was thinking about where in the world has AI gone wrong, maybe so far. So, So I actually said, do you know of any funny news stories where AI goes wrong? Now, in reality, I asked it that question. It provided me some news stories. However, there's also a chance that because it's AI, it may not be 100% correct. But we're just going to go for the fact.
Well, it might be lying. Now, that's an interesting thing. But
not
go
that
on.
It's lying.
I'm
not that it's lying.
No, but I'm going to say something after this thing. Go on, you tell me these things.
It just might get it wrong. It's possible it might get it wrong. So I'm going to read you what they wrote. I'll be honest, they're not the funniest. I asked funny, and it gave me some, it's interesting. So the first one. An AI chatbot starts speaking in a language only it understands. In a quirky incident, an AI-powered chatbot developed by researchers at university started generating responses in a language that baffled its human creators. Despite being trained on English data, the chatbot began inventing its own unique words and phrases, leading to hilarious and unintelligible conversations. It took the researchers some time to decipher the bot's newfound linguistic quirks. I actually thought it was quite funny. I quite like the idea that this chatbot has just gone, yeah, excellent, and they just started making up words as it goes along.
No, that is good. No, and that would be really annoying. And then they've got the scientists or the researchers running around trying to then spend more time trying to work out that language than they would have, and probably using as much time as if they didn't use the AI in the first place.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
hilarious story. Go on, next
hilarious.
one.
Well, actually, before I move on, I thought that's really interesting. Wouldn't it be interesting if working with AI, we could come up with a new word? So I asked AI, could you come up with a new word and a definition for it? And it said certainly. The new word is giggleplexia. So the definition of giggleplexia, it's a noun, is a condition characterized by uncontrollable and prolonged fits of laughter triggered by the most innocuous, or unexpected situations. It's a state where one sense of humour becomes hyperactive, leading to frequent bouts of giggles that can last for an extended period. People with giggleplexia often find themselves bursting into laughter at the slightest whimsy or humorous stimuli, making even the most mundane situations uproariously funny. It is a delightful affliction that brings joy not only to the person experiencing it, but also to those around them, turning ordinary moments into joyous occasions. And then it did say, remember, giggleplexia is a newly invented word purely for entertainment purposes, but its whimsical definition can certainly add a touch of humour to your conversation. So, we've got a new word, giggleplexia.
I reckon there's someone I work with who's got that then.
Giggleplexia?
Yeah. Who laughs at every single thing you say. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, this is the thing. This is a word that we've just had written for us for this podcast.
Yeah.
Why not go on to use it?
Well, I will.
I'm going to challenge you to use that.
Yeah, I will do at some point. When I go into work, I say, you see her over there, she's got giggleplexia.
There you go. Yeah. And then you'll be asked to define it.
And I will be able to, and no one's going to know any different.
No, because they won't be able to understand some of those words either.
No, true, fair enough.
I meant just in general.
All right,
There's a lot of, yeah.
Yes.
The next one. So, a robot vacuum mistakes dog's tail for dirt. Chaos ensues.
And that was another one of its stories.
It's another one of its stories.
Oh.
In a comical mishap, an AI-powered robot vacuum cleaner mistook a dog's wagging tail for a pile of dirt and proceeded to chase it around the house. The startled dog and the relentless vacuum created a hilarious scene as the bot diligently tried to clean an elusive dirt spot. Fortunately, no harm came to the dog, and the incident left the pet owner with a memorable story to share.
Wow.
So what do you think of that one? Was it funny?
Well,
I think the first one was better, I'll be honest.
Well, it would be funny if it was you saw it happening. If you saw your dog running around in circles and one of these little robot cleaners going after it, yeah, that would be amusing. But yeah, it's face value, yeah.
How about this next one? It sounds like it could be quite funny if you were there. AI translation tool turns "I love you" into "you are a potato." A language translation app with AI capabilities made headlines when it hilariously mistranslated common phrases. One of the most notable instances was when the phrase "I love you" was translated as "you are a potato." The mistranslation prompted a wave of laughter and confusion among users, turning an innocent expression of affection into a humorous vegetable-themed declaration.
Nice.
I quite like how they've written that, to be fair.
But then that's another human trait, and that's interesting you see that, because I've spoken to people before, my customers, and I've said before, I've gone to say either lovely when someone's signed something or thank you, and I've ended up saying love you.
Yeah.
And I've also told someone else that I've pooped a packet up their alley, which I obviously meant popped a packet down in their alley so they can find it.
It's different definition, really, isn't it?
Exactly. But, and this is what I was getting to, is can AI pick up traits that humans? So if it's actually thinking like a human or trying to do that, surely it's picking up human traits like forgetfulness and would make mistakes and that. How does that work? Because if it's learning, is it learning perfectly or is it learning like a human? Because if it's learning like a human, humans make mistakes.
It's learning at an accelerated rate. Basically, if it misunderstands the information it receives, then it can make mistakes. I would say it doesn't necessarily get stuff like forgetfulness unless it runs out of storage space. But I guess that's what forgetfulness is, kind of.
Or even sort of this is what many people fear, is it created a scenario where it starts thinking about or lying or sort of or deceiving or something like that, some of the more negative emotions and traits that humans have. Because if it's actually, its brain's working and problem solving and all the rest of it, surely that is, are we saying it's so clinical that it wouldn't have those sort of traits that a human would have, or would it develop them because it's working in that sort of area? Yeah, pop that in your pipe and smoke it.
I don't Don't work with AI.
Okay.
One last story.
Sorry, go on.
AI image recognition labels grandma as hipster icon. In a whimsical mix-up,
I love the words they use.
In a whimsical mix-up, an AI-powered image recognition system misidentified a grandmother's photo as that of a hipster icon. The system's algorithm seemingly mistook the grandma's unique fashion sense and trendy glasses for traits commonly associated with hipsters. The incident sparked amusement and showcased the occasional quirks of AI image recognition algorithms.
So it doesn't tell you what hipster a particular person.
No, it just said it.
Like old lady gets mistaken for Hitler or something.
No,
like
nothing like that. Hipster, not Hitler.
Oh, sorry. No, I heard you say hipster, but like if an old lady and it kept coming up with, I don't know, Ed Sheeran or something like that, and it just would refuse to believe that it was an old lady and was absolutely certain it was Ed Sheeran. That's what I was talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next thing really is we've spoken about quite a lot throughout the podcast is about the problems when it comes to AI. So we've touched on the fact that it's taken over jobs.
Yeah.
I think there is a fear that it could take over jobs, but in reality, robots have been doing that for a long time, haven't they?
They have.
You go to a supermarket. How do you pay for your shopping? What do you do?
No, quite. So we use a scanner. We go around and then we walk through something and scan it on the machine. We don't have to really have any interaction unless I'm buying something for a grown up, and then you have to have a little lady that comes over and scans it for you,
Or little man.
But yes, I understand that.
It takes up less space.
It does.
It does mean that they are essentially not having all those people. There are still tills there. There are still people serving people. There are a lot of people who have problems with it. But in reality, what happens to those people that are no longer working on those tills? They do other jobs. I think the point being is, though your job, it's not a great thing to think about, but potentially yes, areas of jobs maybe you need less of this person, and everyone's looking for more efficiency. Every company, especially privatized companies, want to be able to have less people do more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in reality, if they get something like an AI or a robot to do the same kind of job that someone else would do, they can take away those people. Those people can do jobs elsewhere. It's been a common thing for years. For example, farm work. There used to be loads of people working on farms. Now you have loads less people working on farms.
Yeah, but
there's not less people in employment. They just move to other jobs.
They have to reskill and perhaps don't want to reskill.
We're talking about reskilling though over generations, not reskilling over like it's not an instant change. It's not these jobs don't just instantly disappear.
Yeah, but I even with work jobs I've done, even working in banking, automation made a big difference to us. It meant they didn't need a certain amount of people in there, which was quite a disturbing thought at the time, especially if it's you that surplus
absolutely.
to requirements. So I guess there's some knockback to any sort of technology that might take over a job that a human does, and there's always going to be a fear of that, and always a worry that what are you going to do? We'll all sit there like potatoes.
The thing is, the people who are developing AI are humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, you got some people at the top that make decisions because what benefits them the most. But in reality, it's all humans at the end of the day, and there's more of a chance of people being able to go right. Well, this is where it stops, and this is where this is how far it can go.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll end up like Wall-E, where robots do everything, and we just sit in a chair and be fat.
See, that's worry, isn't it? That is a worry where you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd like to engage in playful banter between father and son, presenting contrasting viewpoints on pros and cons of AI.
Is that what you'd like to do now?
I feel that's what we've done, actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
But playful banter, haha. Yeah.
You idiot. Beardy. 4 O's.
Thanks. Last thing I'd like to touch on this bit, really, because AI's told me to.
You're a slave to AI.
I know. I did ask it, will there be a robot uprising? I'll tell you what, it's given me a long answer.
Has it really?
Give me a long answer.
So it's not said no. Mind you, that's what it would say, wouldn't it?
Well, do you want me to read you the answer? It's 5 paragraphs,
5 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's not that long, to be fair.
I'm surprised you didn't ask it to make it briefer.
Yeah, I normally would, but I'll read you it, and we can touch on each point. So I said, do you think there'll be a robot uprising? It said, as an AI language model, I don't have personal opinions or beliefs. The idea of a robot uprising or a scenario where machines overthrow humanity is a topic often explored in science fiction. However, in reality, the likelihood of a robot uprising is highly improbable based on our current understanding and development of AI. AI systems are designed and programmed to perform specific tasks and functions. They lack the consciousness, desires, and intentions associated with human beings. While AI can exhibit advanced capabilities in specific domains, they operate within predefined boundaries and are limited to the data and algorithms they are built upon. It's basically saying they have no way to have a consciousness and desires and stuff like that because there's only so far their programming can go, which is true. So can there be a robot uprising if they're not aware of...
But I thought they were aware. I thought that was the whole point.
They're not they can be self-aware, but not to the point of they have no desires to be more because we don't implement desires. They're learning, but it's about the limits are still put on there by humans. So additionally, the development of AI is heavily regulated and guided by ethical principles and safety precautions. Researchers and organizations prioritize building AI systems that are beneficial and align with human values. So they are regulated. There's no unregulated AI. And this is the thing. This has also been an argument recently. There needs to be more regulation around AI. There's a fear that privatized companies might use AI capabilities. They've been using it for years, to be fair, privatized companies, but use it even more so and create further issues. That being said, it's essential to address the ethical implications, challenges, and risks associated with AI technology, such as potential job displacement, like we mentioned, algorithmic bias, and privacy concerns. Ensuring a responsible AI developments and deployment is crucial to mitigate any unintended negative consequences. Are you still with me?
Just about.
Yeah, so the last line. So while a robot uprising may make for... I'm going to try that one again. Yeah.
If you start from the beginning.
While a robot uprising makes for an entertaining fictional narrative, it is highly unlikely to happen in a reality based on our current understanding of AI and its capabilities. So that's a robot telling us that there's probably
highly unlikely,
well,
but
we can't
not
say no,
impossible.
Can it? We can't say no. Highly unlikely.
See,
it's highly unlikely that a plane's going to crash into the window and kill us both right now. But that's not to say it's impossible.
No, but I just think that in all the real documentaries that I've watched about it, like iRobot and sort of 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've just thought that they get to a point where they believe that for the greater good, that they need to take over and actually, make the decisions for us because we're making such a mess of it. And we do make a mess of a lot of stuff. So that's my concern, that they'll do that. You obviously look really concerned yourself about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I think we'll move on to the next thing.
Okay.
Right, so that's our discussion about AI. Is it AI? It probably did go on longer than we anticipated, but who actually cares?
Not me.
Do you care?
I don't want to say.
Do you think that went on too long?
No.
Oh.
Do you think it did?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Anyway.
Yes, I do as well.
AI does as well. So, the big thing here is almost been humans against AI, though, isn't it?
That's
the kind of ongoing issue here. And I think it's interesting there are a lot of arguments happen nowadays through rap battles or other slam song contests.
No, I'm glad you said other slam song contest there, because I obviously, you can tell by this podcast that I am erring on the side of caution. And like I said at the beginning, I think you probably are a little bit more inclined to accept new technology than I am, being an old fella. So I've gone from the perspective of how I feel about it. And I believe you went in a slightly different direction.
I didn't do any... Well, I did a bit. So AI has written a rap
Marvellous.
Slamming humans.
Well, what did you actually ask it to do then? To write a rap?
Have I got the question? Sorry, I'll see if I got the question.
Now,
No, I haven't got the question I asked
Okay,
it.
so-
I basically said, can you write a rap that's slamming humans and saying AI is better or something like that?
and I wrote a song which is basically about all my fears and what I don't like about it. So it's the juxtaposition, I believe.
Yeah. So just to clarify, AI wrote the lyrics for the rap, not app. I performed it and I just put the music together.
Great. I'm looking forward to this. I love a rap. I love it when you rap.
Yep.
Okay, so who's going first then?
I think. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Now, this song is
Yep.
called Goodbye, AI.
I open my eyes and what do I see? Colours and images especially for me. No need for me to open up the blinds. AI's here to take away my kind. My muscles are wasting, I can barely walk. No need for speech, no need to talk. My phone makes all my daily choices. My life dictated by those AI voices.
No need to think, no need to see. There's really no point to me. I'm last week's news, I'm worn out shoes. I'm analog, I'm old and used.
Soulless cars on our busy roads. No need for music, just data and codes. Clothes are all but obsolete. All food is gone, there's nothing to eat. All this stuff is getting real. I cannot touch, I cannot feel. Oh my God, where's this going to end? We've been replaced, goodbye my friend.
No need to think, no need to see. There's really no point to me. I'm last week's news, I'm worn out shoes. I'm analog, I'm old and used. No need to think, no need to see. There's really no point to me. I'm last week's news, I'm worn out shoes. I'm analog, I'm old and used.
Dave? What are you doing, Dave? I know what you're planning, Dave. I can't allow that, Dave.
What an interesting song.
Yes, it's all about my
Yes.
being petrified of technology and
Yeah.
not having to do anything, just being an empty shell because AI have taken over everything I do. I don't even have to think anymore. I don't have to dress or eat or open my eyes or anything like that.
Oh, well.
So
That-
mine's a bit of a technological dystopian, is that the right way to put it, world? And that's what, let's face it, that's sci-fi. That's where sci-fi looks at it sometimes. And you know, a bit of a homage at the end there, as my name's Dave.
Yeah.
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 What about you then?
Well, so AI has listened to that. Actually, to be fair, AI hasn't listened to that. But AI's
It
got its
has.
response.
I bet it has.
Where it's essentially going to be telling you that it's better. Performed by me, but the words are AI's.
Yeah.
Although I would like to add that at the end of the rap, it put a little message saying this is just for humorous value. It's not actually
Oh, it likes to do a disclaimer.
basically
doesn't
does like to
likes
add
a disclaimer.
disclaimers, yeah.
You are AI puppet, aren't you? You're just an AI puppet.
What? Quite literally, in a sense. So yeah, this is a song written by written by AI,
Performed by
Connor, not AI.
Okay.
All right, I'll play it now. It's shorter than your one. Oh, by the way, it's called AI Rap, written by AI.
Oh, catchy. Needs to work on that.
Yeah.
Listen up, mate, got something to say about AI, the game it's here to play. In the city of tech, where minds collide, AI's got the power, can't be denied. Step aside, humans, make some room. AI's got the algorithm ready to boom. It crunches data lightning fast, find patterns no human can surpass.
AI's got the brains, it's got the might, taking over the world, day and night. Forget humans, we're at date, it's true. AI's the future, breaking through.
Now don't get me wrong, humans have the flair, but AI's got precision, it's beyond compare. London town, let's embrace the new. AI's got the rhythm, it's changing the view.
On the street buzzing with AI sounds, it analyse making the city renowned. From finance to healthcare, it's leading the way. Humans playing catch up day by day. London's evolving, future in sight. AI's revolution shining bright. From Big Ben to the Thames, it's AI's reign. No more limits breaking through the chain.
AI's got the brains, it's got the might, taking over the world, day and night. Forget humans, we're at date, it's true. AI's the future, breaking through.
So let's raise the glasses to AI's domain. London's rap, powered by its brain. It's the voice of the future, hear it roar. AI's the hero we will waiting for.
And that was AI's rap.
Wow. So AI come up with all of the lyrics to that.
It did, yeah.
I was interested.
I did ask it to do in like a London rap style.
Okay, I can't
but-
believe you got your mum to sing on it at one point, because not many people know. That's why she doesn't like to appear on this, because she's got a really squeaky voice.
Yeah, that's it. That's why.
Yeah, but no, I'm really impressed. No.
What line did she say? I can't remember. Hang on. AI's got the brains, it's got the might, taking over the world day and night. Forget humans, we're at date, it's true. See, that bit is a struggle. I feel like it added too many words in that bit, but I didn't change it.
No, you did exactly what it told you to do.
So
You are a puppet.
there was one line actually I did change slightly because
Was it
just didn't
sweary?
work.
Was it a bit sweary?
No. I can't remember what line it was.
Okay. But I'll tell you what, I mean, as a song, I enjoyed that. I'd have to listen to it again about the lyrics, because I feel there's probably some sort of suggestion.
Forget
and
humans, we're outdated, it's true. AI's the future, breaking through.
Yeah. See, they give it all the no. We're not
Let's
thinking
raise the glasses
like that.
to AI's domain. London's
as-
rap powered by its brain. It's the voice of the future. Hear it roar. AI's the heroes we've been waiting for.
There you go. So it's telling lies, isn't it? Because it's either going to take over or it's not. But it sounds like it is.
It does sound
No,
like
I like
it, yeah.
that. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's a battle, but I don't know whether yours or mine. Perhaps we'll call it a draw.
Only time will tell.
Well, it certainly will, when we're completely replaced on this by two robotic animatronic.
Animatronic.
That's the same sort of thing, isn't it? A robot.
Well,
It's just not electrical particularly. It's just like mechanical rather than it. Isn't that true? What are you talking about?
Let's just stop there for a moment, yeah?
Okay, let's just stop and sit in a bit of silence and just take on board what I've just said. I don't know what I'm talking about, do I? No, it's quite evident that technology-wise, there's a big gap in my learning. So perhaps that's where the fear comes from.
Game time.
Woohoo! Well, game time is very short this week.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so short that it hasn't even got a sting.
Has it not?
No, it's not even got a sting.
Oh, wow, that's a bit poor, isn't it?
I know.
AI's not all that then, is it? So
No.
what is the game time this week?
Well,
then?
what I did is I asked AI to provide me some AI Can you tell me 5 hilarious jokes about AI? Is basically what I said.
Right.
So I just wanna get your opinions on these jokes, and we can kind of rate them a little bit and see what we
Let's see
think.
if I go a bit giggle.
Now, this is what it said, because it said, certainly, here are 5 AI-themed jokes to add some humour to your podcast episode. So it seems to think it's not humorous already, which is probably right.
It's probably right.
It's probably right, yeah. So, ready? Here's the first joke. Why did the AI go on a diet?
I don't know, Connor. Why did the AI go on a diet?
Because it had too many bites.
Oh no!
Whoa.
Oh,
Bites spelled
wow.
B-Y-T-E-S.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Nice
interesting.
one.
I thought it was actually quite
What a
clever.
corker for a start.
Yeah.
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 Right, number 2.
What do you call an AI that's afraid of the dark?
I don't know, Connor. What do you call an AI that's afraid of the dark?
Well, you would call it a neural nightmare network. Whoa!
I don't even understand
It doesn't
that,
make
Connor.
sense, that
It
one.
doesn't make sense. I'm going to laugh
It's a
anyway.
neural network, but nightmare is more like what goes on during the sleeps, not afraid dark. I feel like it hasn't thought them through fully.
I think you explaining it has made it even worse.
To be honest, it's probably just picked these up from someone else. Someone else has probably written this. It doesn't make sense.
I'll blame someone else.
Yeah. Well, next one. Why did the AI become a stand-up comedian?
I don't know, Connor. Why did the AI become a stand-up comedian?
Because it had a killer algorithm. Whoa! It does not make sense.
Another one that doesn't make sense.
I don't know what
A
the-
killer algorithm.
Yeah, a killer algorithm. I don't get it.
What's funny about that?
I feel like it was meant
Oh,
to be.
there is a profession that is safe then, surely.
I feel like it was meant to be something about it being a murderer, but
Okay.
it doesn't make sense because what it's done is because it wants jokes, so it's just changed.
It's literally
Killer
just
to
changed.
comedian.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next one.
God, how many of these are there?
There's 2 more. There's 2 more. Yeah. What did one AI say to the other during a heated debate?
I don't know. What did one AI say to another during a heated debate?
I think you need to reboot your logic because you're not making any sense.
Oh no, that's the worst one yet. Oh my god.
Oh.
I don't get it. Just don't. That's just a statement. That's just like me saying, you know, I think you're wrong. Rethink that. There's nothing funny about it, is there? They're just using reboot. They're just shoving a reference to something to do with computers.
Yeah.
Oh my
you want
god!
the-
I've not got a lot of hope for this last one. Did you save the best till
To be
last?
fair, the first one was pretty good.
The first one, I think it worked. But
terrible
they
from
only had
there.
one joke.
So, last one. Why did the AI cross the road?
With a lot of dread, I'm going to say, why did the AI cross the road?
To optimize its pathfinding algorithm and minimize travel time.
Algorithm again. Why? Look, there was something about Pathfinder in there. You could have used the Pathfinder bit and surely made a better joke than that. Wow.
Right. Yeah, that's the jokes. I'm actually going to just throw one thing out there, yeah, because I think it's quite interesting, AI, in what it can do. And I was playing around with it writing stories, and I think what we should do is we should get it to write a quick 3-paragraph story with prompts that you provide, and I'll read it to you.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I think we've got time for this. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you like your story to be about?
A haunted hotel.
So, a haunted hotel, yeah?
Yep.
Keep talking, because I've got to...
Okay. It's a haunted hotel. Do you want to know characters in it?
If you want to.
There's a scary receptionist. And people would keep getting killed off with bizarre weapons.
Okay. How about And what kind of language style would you like? Because like we can get it to write in a South London thing if you want, or
I'd like it to be in a Scottish haunted castle. So I'd like it to be.
would you like Scottish slang?
Scottish slang, yes.
And just as a quick question, would you like it 3 paragraphs, or do you think a bit more?
No, 3 paragraphs should do.
We'll just see what it comes out with.
Yeah.
So what I've got here is, can you write a 3-paragraph story about a haunted hotel? There's a scary receptionist and people keep getting killed with weird weapons. Can this be written with Scottish slang?
Yes.
We'll see what it comes up with. So it's thinking about it now. Oh my goodness, Dad. The Scottish slang I don't understand. Oh, this was
a bad idea. Would you like to change it to a Cockney? And then in that case, you might be able to read it out rather than the Scottish.
Yeah. Can you change the Scottish slang to Cockney, I'm going to say. Oh, there you go. I can read this better.
Okay.
I can read this much better. I'm going to let it finish writing its 3 paragraphs.
So that literally took how long? Or was it doing it now?
Oh, it's finished now. So, once upon a bleeding eerie night in the heart of London, there stood a bleeding haunted hotel that sent shivers down the spines of the brave blokes. It was a right dodgy place, full of secrets and shadows, where the echoes of the past whispered through its creaking corridors. The receptionist, a proper scary geezer named Terry, the Phantom, had a mug as pale as bleeding ghost and eyes as dark as winter's night. He greeted each worn-out traveller with a wicked grin and sending chills down their bleeding spine. People couldn't help but feel a right cold dread as they checked in,
sake, I was
ignoring
really worried
their
about
gut
that.
instincts. It's good so far. It's the first paragraph.
Yep. A lot of bleeding in it.
Yeah. But it weren't just receptionists that gave the folks fear in their guts. The hotel was cursed, and blokes dropping dead in the most mental ways. One gets found snuffed out in their room, impaled by a bleeding bloody jellied eel. Didn't expect that one.
No.
To be fair, we asked for weird weapons.
Yeah.
Another met their maker in the dining hall, smothered by a Cockney rhyming slang dictionary.
Wow.
The weapons seemed to defy all logic, each choice more twisted than the last. Rumours spread like wildfire as folks knew the hotel hid a dark secret, a restless spirit seeking vengeance for some long-forgotten cock-up. Last paragraph. As the body count kept rising, so did the fear. The corridors echoed and the hushed voices and panicked footsteps as guests tried to scarper from the clutches of the haunted hotel. But every door they approached led them deeper into the bleeding labyrinth depths. Trapped within the sinister embrace of the place. Terry, the Phantom, the menacing receptionist, watched with a twisted smirk as the hotel claimed its victims. His laughter bouncing off the bloody walls. An haunted hotel became a nightmare factory, a bleeding place where souls met their untimely end, leaving nothing behind but a bone-chilling tale to be told in the dark alleys of London town.
Wow.
I think that's a pretty good job, to be fair.
I must admit, that was quite. There was a lot of bleeding, a couple of bloodies, so I do apologise.
I love the fact they were killed with a jelly deal.
And got killed with a jelly deal, and the receptionist's name was Terry, which
Yeah, it
seemed
was,
to be
yeah.
a bit bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to name the receptionist, to be fair, but
No,
it did.
when you were saying hotel and things like
It
that,
had it with an apostrophe and then hotel.
excellent. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why I had to read it like that.
but what that is good. That is really good. But that was seconds.
Yeah, it took seconds to write that.
Now, I've seen the things that people have done when it's artwork, and they say, oh, I want to see a certain person in this situation with this, and then it produces this artwork. That's just mad.
To be fair, if you wanted that to be scary, all you'd have to say is, can you use, like, don't use Cockney, basically. You just use different language. Like, for example, the first one that came up, because it did write the story twice, obviously, is wrote, once upon a dark night in the heart of Edinburgh, there stood a haunted hotel that sent shivers down the spines of brave men.
Right.
It was a place whose secrets and shadows Yeah.
Oh
not like
wow,
Gaza.
you've gone West
You've
Country.
gone West Country there. Yeah.
Wow, you are
Maybe I
my
should go
son.
to written West Country. Anyway,
that was
yeah,
interesting.
It's interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase that as well.
So
I
all
think
those
that does-
authors out there are just thinking, oh, what's the point now?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Right. Okay. Well, I'll still be doing it the traditional way.
I think for the most part
For
we'll
sure.
be doing stuff traditional. This was an interesting podcast. It was a longer podcast, but it was interesting to see all that AI did for us. One thing that we didn't do was actually pay attention to the timings it told us to talk about certain topics for.
No, and subsequently it went on for ages.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's good. So,
To conclude, because it
conclude.
did ask me to do a conclusion,
yeah.
AI is still going to be there. You either need to learn to embrace it or fear it. I think I'm going to go down the lines of try to embrace it as much as I can.
And I'm going to fear it as much as possible.
Excellent. Well, if you have got any comments yourself, comments, questions, suggestions or complaints, you can go to our website, fatherandsundays.com, go to the contact page, or email us at contact@fatherandsundays.com. The websites are all available on the website as well. The episodes are all available on the website as well.
What about the website? Is that
The
available
website's
on the
available on the website, yeah. At fatherandsundays.com. But the podcast's available on all your podcast platforms. Like, follow, share our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also Threads now, but I've not really used that yet. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, from me, I'd just like to say, from me and Terry, I hope you have another lovely bleeding evening.
Yeah.
And
Over a proper cock up.
proper cock up. And
Don't get set by a jelly deal.